I first entered in 1973. I enlisted in the U.S. Air Force when I was still a senior in high school. Spent my first 4 years as a tail gunner in a B-52 at the tail end of the Vietnam conflict. In fact, I was in Southeast Asia in 1975 at the end of the conflict. And then I left after 4 years, went to school in the Vietnam era, GI Bill, got my college degree, came back in 1981, went to pilot training, became a pilot. And for the next 26 years, I was an Air Force pilot. Well, last December, as you mentioned, I was doing some business with a friend of mine, and he came over to my house. We were doing some work on the computer, and I don't know how we got around to the topic, but he is also a retired Navy guy. And he had just gotten his disability up to 100%. And I asked him how he did it. Now, I had been retired for 17 years, and I never did anything about increasing my disability rate, but certainly some of the issues I was suffering from had gotten worse. And so, I talked to him about how he had managed to get his increased. Well, he mentioned that he used Trajector because, I thought about trying to work on mine, because like I said, well, my issues were getting worse, but doing it on your own, it's pretty complicated, at least the first time around. It can be pretty complicated. But when he told me about Trajector and how much success he had, I was really intrigued. And so within a day or so, I called Trajector, and they grabbed the ball and just started running with it. And so that's how I got to it. And my only regret is I didn't do this 5 years ago. Actually, one of them was, and ended up being my highest single area in terms of percentage. And that was the insomnia issue. Probably have suffered with it for years, but didn't really think about it. After, doing the CNP appointment, some things came out, and finally started to realize that, hey, I think this probably is service related, and who knows what else, but that's one thing I appreciate about the process with Trajector is the thoroughness, getting to think about things that you maybe never considered. One of the biggest things is the reason I started it. I had a lot of arthritis in my neck, so that was kind of the big driving force. And that did help to get the disability up a little bit, but there were several other things that I hadn't thought about that made a difference as well. Well, I was surprised because I guess as I was going along in my mind, I thought, well, my big goal was try to get it to 50 because then they stopped taking disability pay out of my retirement pay. Because basically, even though I was getting 30%, the financial part I was getting nothing because whatever the VA gave me, my retired pay was reduced by that same amount. So it's like, well, I'm not getting anything. But if you can get to 50, now you get concurrent payment. And that's great. So I thought 50 was the real goal. I thought it might be nice if I could hit 60 just, for a little bit more. But when it came back at 70, I was absolutely shocked. And I had some thoughts in my mind as to what areas I thought I would get increases in and what areas I thought I didn't have a chance of getting any increase in. And I was absolutely shocked. The ones I thought I would get, I didn't. And the ones I thought I didn't have any chance of getting, I did. And so, I didn't guess very well, but it doesn't matter. The end result was very, very pleasantly surprising. In my mind, it's actually a very clever way on the part of Trajector to structure that, because nothing is charged up front. Nothing is paid until you get an increase. And even then, you only take anything above what you already had for, 5 months. And so you're never out anything. And in my mind, it was going to be a situation where, okay, once I get this, whatever it increases, then I only have to wait 5 months to get the, to have it all count for me. Well, even that was another very pleasant surprise. And this was something that I didn't know that was very pleasant to learn. And that is, it became effective the date I filed that claim, not the day that I got my increase. So, there was about a 6-month time between the time I filed and the time I got it. Well, now, so I thought, okay, I got 5 months I got to pay this. Well, not really, because now I'm going to get back paid, and I use that back pay to pay Trajector, and I can start off immediately getting the full benefit. And so, boy, that was a real plus. That was a real plus that I wasn't expecting.